Hello Aqua friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Nicole and Happy New Year to everybody. I got inspired by this beautiful reference photo that I got from Pixabay. It just kind of really reminded me of the new year with this beautiful star and this snowy back scene. So I'm taking this inspiration and I'm going to paint with it. Now, I do want to tell you that you can go ahead and mask out the star, but I decided that I was just going to use a white marker to draw in my star once I finish painting the background. I did use a masking tip to do all these dots that you see, and we're going to start off wet on wet. And following the colors that I see in the reference photo, the first color that I've added here is yellow ochre. And I do have some purple lavender and some blue, Verdor blue. I can't speak today. I'm also using cobalt blue to get this dreamy blue snow in the foreground. The red is just my standard Quin red in my palette here. And I'm trying to get this background done all in one go. Working wet on wet. So notice I am moving around the canvas, making sure that I continue keeping it wet so that no area is dry with hard edges. Increasing the blues around the star, the middle of the star here. I'm being careful not to go into my yellow. I don't want to make a green, but I am bordering right up to that yellow color. To increase that darkness that I'm seeing in the background, I am using indigo blue and I'm mixing it with my cobalt blue. No, I'm kind of wanting to represent those circular patterns that I'm seeing in the background and the snow and going over those bokeh areas with circular strokes. You do want to spritz your paper and pick up your paper and move it around. The brush strokes will soften quite a bit and it just gives you a much prettier look. I always think watercolor is the prettiest when it paints itself, and I am a big fan of picking up my palette and rotating it around like that. Where I want more pops of this bright, beautiful cobalt blue, I'm laying that down and rotating my palette. Coming back into that foreground before it dries too much on me, putting in some cobalt blue. Getting the snowbanks in there that are going to be underneath the star. Now that looks pretty good. I'm going to soften it with a little spritz of water. I have a very fine mist sprayer, and the fine mist will make your paint move, but it won't make your paint move too much. If you adjust the nozzle, you can practice and see the different types of effects you can get. Now there is a nice warmth underneath that star, so I'm putting in some more of my quinacridone red. Getting the paint to move with some spritzes here. And just letting it flow and do its own thing, and look at how pretty that is. So before the whole thing dries, you do want to make sure that you wipe up around the edges of your paper, just so that when it dries, you don't make any blooms. Now, while the foreground is still wet, I am putting in some snow effects with salt. You want to do this when your paper is still shiny and starting to dry. You will get some beautiful bleached out areas. You're going to let that whole thing dry, and notice our very cool snow effects here. I'm taking off the stickers that I had put down in my first part of my painting. I forgot to mention, you guys, that the larger circles, I just used some clear stickers that I got from Amazon to do some of the larger bokeh lights that I saw in the foreground before you start painting wet on wet. And then with a pickup eraser, you can take off all those little dots that you made. If you don't want to use masking fluid at all, you can also just use a white marker to make the white spots, or some white gouache splattered for snow effects. So I did lose the lines of my star, and so I'm just redrawing that so I can see where I need to put in all these white lines. So like I said, you could opt to use masking fluid, or you can use white gouache, or you can use white markers. There is a lot of options here. So with a white marker, I'm going over my lines. You can go over it twice. Once your white marker dries and you go over it a second time, it'll just become more and more opaque and thicker. So you can do whatever you think looks good. If you need it to be more white, you can go over it a second time. There are some very fine details of sparkling lights, and with a white jelly pen, I am making all those tiny little sparkling areas that I see in the reference photo. I'll show you a close-up. It doesn't look like much, but it does give you that lacy effect that I see in the reference photo. Along with the white marker, I'm using white gouache to get some of my lines a little bit lighter, a little bit more white. The marker does a good job, but it is still a little bit transparent, and so I'm just trying to make this more opaque. You could also go over some of the sparkling lacy areas with the white opaque paint if you wanted to highlight some of the stars that are sparkling. So a little yellow ochre wash over the bokeh lights, as well as just a touch of that over the star itself. I did try yellow gouache, didn't like that effect that I was getting because it is a opaque paint, and I liked how the yellow ochre, the white was shining through the yellow ochre, so it looked a lot more transparent. Just more magical. So that is pretty much it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. You guys just created a masterpiece. Congratulations. If you like these sort of magical settings, then check out this other tutorial I did with some fun mystical properties, and I'll see you there.